Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Lam yakunil ladzina kafaru min ahlil kitabi wal musyrikina munfakina hatta ta'tiyahumul bayyinah rasulun minallahi yatlu suhufan mutahhara fiha kutubun qayyimah wa ma tafarraqal ladzina utul kitaba illa min ba'di ma ja'atuhumul bayyinah. Sadaqallahul aliyyul azim. Dear students and audience, I just wanted to give you a briefing about cell membrane in the third lecture of the first year class. This is for you, and working of cell membrane. Today this is a good news for you, because in previous lecture I was telling you the thing which is not present in the human body, and today I am telling you the things which is present in your body. Normally the people are interested, and you as a medical student are interested in the structures which are present in your body, and cell wall you don't possess. That's why you may not be much interested as in the cell membrane, because cell membrane is your part. So I am coming to the structure which is present in your body, students. Cell membrane is a vast topic. I can't explain even in the 7 lectures, because I will follow your book and I will let you tell interesting points of cell membrane, which is covering your cell. Your cell is little house, and the door of your house is cell membrane. Mean if anybody want to enter into your cell membrane has to give permission, just like security guards. And these are the security guards which will not allow all molecules to enter into your cell. This is the nature has given you, just security system. If terrorists like coronavirus will not be able to enter into your cell until your cell membrane will not give the permission. That is the first security checkup. You may be thinking, sir, a lot of the people are exposed to coronavirus and still they are saved. Reason is that because first of all, first line of defense is our immunity system and our internal cell membrane. And that will stop the virus. When cell membrane will fail and virus will enter, then it will make the little changes and you will become ill. So first line of defense is there. There are 3 types of defense you will study in the last chapter of this class. So very interesting immunity system chapter, students, because this is just like a system, a security system of the country, in which one police, second police, army, and FIA and police system, army system, they are helping each other and just protecting the body from the bacteria and viruses. We'll go back to the topic, but once again I will tell you, students, door of your house. What is the door of your house? Cell membrane. Cell membrane has small opening sometime. I will tell you, CD4 receptor site, lymphocyte, your white blood cells, which has CD4 receptor site, and CD4 receptor site has the security system. They will not allow HIV virus to enter into white blood cell. That's why we are safe from HIV virus. Most of the people, some people become victim, but I am talking most of the people. We are already fighting with the viruses and the bacteria all the time. Even the virus, even the diseases, infectious diseases, there are not. We are already fighting. Our body is already fighting. When you will become ill? You will become ill only when your immunity system will be failed and you will not be able to respond properly. I will go back to the topic, cell membrane inner structure. The word I will use, mosaic manner. You are watching this mosaic manner. Just I will move this one. You already know that first year lecture number 3. Why I am writing this heading all the time? Reason, you must know in which lecture, which topic we were discussing. Mosaic manner. But before that, I need to tell you the lipid layer, and lipid layer, how the lipid layers are present. There are 2 lipids layer. There are 2 lipids layer in the cell membrane. 2 main molecules. One is a lipid, one is a protein. Lot of other molecules are present, but these are 2 major molecules in more concentration, with the purpose, with the function, and all functions of cell membrane. And most of the function of the cell membrane is depending upon 2 organic molecules, the polymers, You will remember protein and the lipid. Lipid is also called the fat, so there is no difference to understand the lipid. Lipid is also called fat, and monomers of the lipid, you know already, fatty acid and glycerol, and protein is a polymer, and the monomers of the protein is the amino acid. So these are the amino acid which combine to form the protein, and polymerization reaction occurs. Small molecules combine to form the large molecules, that is the polymer, and polymer is always formed from the monomers, and the water molecule will be released. This will be called as a condensational polymerization. So lipid is a polymer. A small molecule will combine to form the large molecule, that is the fatty acid glycerol, that will combine to form the lipid, and the water molecule will be released, and that will be an example of the condensational polymerization. Now the main thing I wanted to tell, the arrangement of lipid and protein. What I told students, I am not involving you in glycolipid now, I am not involving you in a glycoprotein, I am not involving you in cell surface markers, I am not involving you in antigens, due to which you are different from each other and your blood group is different from each other. I am not involving you that how your cell identified terrorist. I am not involving you that how each cell is different from other, and each cell has a signboard and is showing that I am glycolipid, I have a different glycolipid, I am different glycoprotein, and with different cell surface markers these cells are different from each other. I am involving you in only one point now currently, protein and the lipids, two polymers. And first of all their arrangement, how they are arranged. If you will see the lipid arrangement, lipid is bi-layer. The two words which I speak now, 2-3 sentences, you have to remember now. Then you will not be, you will not feel difficulty in understanding the surface of the cell membrane or plasma membrane, semi-permeable membrane. Bi-layer, 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 lipid bi-layer. Two layers are present. Two layers are present and bilipid layers are present, and these two bilipid layers are present in the surface of cell membrane, and those are hydrophilic as well as the hydrophobic, which I will tell you, don't worry. Hydrophilic, hydrophobic I have to define, but before that I have to tell that lipid layer, second point, lipid layer is continuous. If you are watching this diagram, these structures, I have to indicate you this all surface. Look here, my line is going where? This all is lipid. Even these balls are lipid. This is a lipid first layer. This is a lipid first layer. Just hold on. This is a lipid first layer, and this is a lipid second layer. So first layer and the second layer, you both are watching the first layer and the second layer, upper layer and the lower layer. These two layers, which are the lipid layers, bilipid layers. Why this is called cell membrane is composed of the bilipid layer? Reason is that it is composed of two layers, mean it is the bilipid layers. One lipid layer, second lipid layers. These two lipid layers are significantly important because they will allow the molecules to pass through, especially the molecules which are non-polar. Why protein is in? Where is the protein? Because I was telling you there are two important molecules in the cell membrane. One is a lipid, one is a protein. Lipid I told you bilipid layer. Once again I will tell you two layers. One is this one, this layer, and second is this one, second layer, bilipid layer. Why bilipid layer is present? I will also tell you the reason. Why by nature produced two lipid layers facing each other, and I will tell you one thing, that they have two ends, hydrophilic, hydrophobic, which I have to tell. Now go to the protein. Protein, where is the protein? Because that is another structure which is present in the cell membrane. That is the protein now. That is protein. Protein, now I will highlight protein. This is a protein molecule, students, and this is another protein molecule. Now you got one idea. Sir. Protein layer is not present continuously. That is the point which I wanted to share. That is the point of my lecture. This current lecture consists of most important point, the lipid layer is continuous and protein layer is discontinuous. You can see by in the diagram by your eyes. Look here, this layer and this layer is protein layer, one protein, and there is a gap. This is the gap. So patches, gap mean mosaic manner, that is the mosaic manner, that is the gap. So when it is present in the gap, when it is present in the mosaic manner, when fluid mosaic model, why I am using this model, why using this name, cell membrane is explained by fluid mosaic model. What is the fluid mosaic model? Fluid is present, which I will tell you. Fluid is present in the cell membrane. There is a fluid. Where is the fluid? I am going to indicate you. And second is that protein molecules are present in the patches, it is present in the gaps. When anything present in the gaps, that is called mosaic manner. That is called as a mosaic manner. MOSAIC, mosaic manner. So now I am going to tell you the two important structures. Once again, lipid key of cell membrane. Other things are very easy, which I will tell you. You should understand lipid layer, bilipid layer, and the protein. Bilipid layer is continuous, and in the bilipid layer the fluid is present, and fluid mosaic model mean between the lipid layer the fluid is present. That is the fluid mosaic model. One word of the fluid mosaic model, fluid is due to fluid present between the lipid layer, and also the protein molecules are present in the gaps, in the patches, so it is a mosaic model. It is a mosaic model. Now if you see this slide, protein. Actually I just wanted to tell you in this diagram that protein molecule present, and then protein molecule is present, and then protein molecule is present. There is a gap. This is the gap. So protein molecules are arranged in such a way that there is a gap. Means that is arranged in a mosaic manner. MOSAIC. There are two lipid layers, the upper lipid layers and the lower lipid layer. The first primary lipid layer, secondary lipid layers. And these lipid layers are important because that is allowed to, that molecules which enter through the cell membrane, that is non-polar molecule. I will explain why these two type of arrangements are present. Actually there are two type of molecules which have to enter into the cell. Two type of the guests which can enter into the cell. Now security system should be active, and it should allow the two type of the molecules which are needed, which our cell needs. So which type of the molecules? Our molecules need polar molecules, our body need non-polar molecules. So protein is a polar molecule. Do you remember, students, protein composed of amino acid NH2 group is polar, N electronegativity high, hydrogen electronegativity less, polarity develop in, and another group of acid group of amino acid C. Just hold on, I am just telling you which bond is polar in the acid. Yes, OH. This OH is a polar, and amino group is N, H, and H. This electronegative, nitrogen electronegativity high, hydrogen electronegativity less, partial positive charge, it will create the polarity. So two polar bonds will be present in the amino group, and polar bonds also present in the acid group. This is acid C. I am drawing the acid group of amino acid now. Yes, C, double bond O and H, right? So this is partial negative charge in O, partial positive charge in the hydrogen electropositive, this partial negative charge in the oxygen, partial positive charge in the carbon. So many polar bonds, 3 polar bonds I think we already formed, C double bond OH. This polarity will help to enter polar molecules. So what is the logic? You may be thinking, sir, what is the logic that polar molecules can enter into polar molecule, non-polar into... Charged particles will be attracted by the charged particles, and the particles which are not charged, they will not be attracted by the charged particles. So that's why nature gave two things, lipid layer and the protein layers, to attract the polar molecules for the protein molecules help, and lipid layers to attract the non-polar molecules. go back to the that slide which I made for you. Protein in mosaic manner. Yes, the point which I was discussing with gaps or patches on bilipid layers. Bilipid layers, there are two layers. Look here, one is this layer, one layer. Okay, one layer, my finger is one lipid layer, second finger is my second lipid layer, and protein molecules are not attached on these fingers continuously, they are attached in the gaps, mean there is a gaps, mean mosaic manner, and fluid present between the lipids that makes the molecules to move easily. So molecules when moving, they require little medium. This fluid will help to in the movement of the molecules from the high concentration to the low concentration. Actual mechanism I am also going to explain how the molecules enter, but you got initial information. Cell membrane is composed of lipid and the protein, and lipid consists of two layer by lipid layer. One is a upper lipid layer, one is a lower lipid layer. One is a upper lipid layer, one is a lower lipid layer. Now the point to understand what is the hydrophilic and hydrophobic ends. Hydrophobic ends and hydrophilic ends. You have to be attentive now. I want your attention, and I will be very slow. If you can, you will understand this point, and motto of this lecture will be clear, because these are new informations and you was not watching these information, you was not reading in the 10th and 9th class. Look here, hydrophilic ends, hydrophobic ends. Hydrophilic ends, hydrophobic ends. If you will see, if the faces of bilipid layer, this is the faces of bilipid layer. This is the, I will do once again because I just wanted to show exactly the faces. This is the face of one lipid layer, this is the face of second lipid layer, which are facing each other, If you want me to indicate once again, I will. This is up now, I can tell you now. Yes, this is the layer which is one layer, upper lipid layer. This is the lower. These are the ends which are facing each other. This is number 1 lipid layer, this is number 2 lipid layer, this is number 2 lipid layer. And what will happen between this lipid layer, this end is hydrophobic. Now I am speaking two important terminologies, hydrophobic ends and hydrophilic ends. These are two important terms which I wanted to explain, hydrophilic ends and the hydrophobic ends. The ends which are facing each other, those are hydrophobic ends. The ends which are facing each other, those are hydrophobic ends. The ends which are not facing each other, that is hydrophilic. First of all, I have to tell hydrophilic ends, hydrophobic ends, the meaning. Hydrophobic ends of the lipid layer mean they cannot attract water molecules. Water molecules cannot be attached with them. Reason? Because that end is a non-polar. Hydrophilic end, that end which is polar, and it can attract the water molecule. Now once again I will tell you where is the hydrophilic end. This is hydrophilic end. This is hydrophilic end. This is hydrophilic end. This is hydrophobic end of the one layer. This is hydrophobic end of the other layer, which is facing each other. The end which are not facing, I am indicating these ends of bilipid layer, they are not facing each other. That is at one side, this is at one side, this is at another side. This is hydrophilic, it can attract water molecule, and this molecule, this layer is not facing each other, this is not facing each other, so they are facing each other, that is hydrophobic ends. So two ends I explained, hydrophilic ends, hydrophobic ends. These ends are hydrophobic, these ends are hydrophilic, these ends are hydrophilic, means they can attract water molecules. So this is important to note that protein molecules allow some molecules which can enter into the cell, and that protein will enter by two mechanisms, and those mechanisms are important, like carrier protein and the channel protein. Yes, this is the last information in today's lecture. I am talking about the protein molecule. The protein molecule arranged in the cell membrane in the form of the gaps. In the gaps, that is not continuous. Why it is not continuous? Because it will clear the space between them. It will just become the door between one protein molecule. This is another protein molecule, and between them the gap will be present. Look here. This is one protein molecule. This is another protein molecule. Between them, gap is there. Between two finger gap is there. Yes, this gap will allow molecules to enter into the cell. Why the gap is present? To give the space to molecules to enter. So if you will see this one, the carrier protein and the channel protein function, and that is interested to carrier protein. Yes, there are two types of the proteins. One type of protein will allow the molecules to react with the molecules. I will tell this slide. The final information I will give you in the next lecture, but I will tell you one thing: carrier protein, channel protein. The point I am telling: carrier protein, channel protein. Carrier protein, channel protein, both protein function same. Reason: because they will allow the molecules to enter into the cell. The molecules to enter into the cell. Channel protein, carrier protein will allow, and channel protein also has the spaces between them in the form of the channels and the molecules. This is the two protein molecules. These are two protein molecules once again, and between them space is there. This space is called channel. This channel will allow molecules to enter into the cell. Which type of molecules will be able to enter into the cell? The molecules must be polar. Why? Because the molecule polarity of the molecule will attract the amino acid of these two proteins, and they will be able to enter into the cell. What is the carrier protein? Carrier protein is a very specific protein. It will attach with molecule. I am making distinction. It will attach with molecule, and it will not allow molecules. It will not allow molecules to enter into the cell without attachment with the protein. In the next lecture, I will tell you how carrier protein is able to transfer the molecules from outside to the cell, and how channel protein is able to enter the molecules from outside to inside without attachment. By diagram we will discuss. But today, very important point, students, you discuss the lipid layer, hydrophilic and hydrophobic ends, and the protein in the patches, allowing polar molecules, and other structures like cell surface markers, antigens, we will also discuss in the upcoming lecture. Thank you very much for understanding, and keep in touch for lecture number 4.